Think about the last time you liked someone. Maybe you saw them across a room. Maybe it started as a text conversation that went on longer than expected. Maybe you spent 20 minutes choosing the right photo for your profile before you even sent the first message. Now, strip all of that away. No apps, no photos, no restaurants, no first dates, no perfume, no carefully chosen outfit. No disappearing after an awkward moment and pretending it never happened. Just you, a fire, and the same 40 people you have known your entire life. That is the world ancient humans fell in love in. And here is the question nobody really asks. In a group so small that half the people are your relatives, where you cannot ghost anyone, where every embarrassing moment happens in front of the whole tribe, where your entire romantic universe contains maybe 15 eligible people. Did ancient humans actually fall in love the way we do? The answer is yes, but the way it worked will make modern dating look like a completely different species. Let us start with something that changes everything. For most of human history, your entire social world was tiny. Agriculture only appeared around 12,000 years ago. Before that, humans lived in small mobile bands, usually between 20 and 50 people, moving constantly across landscapes in search of food and water. Everyone knew everyone. Every argument, every friendship, every attraction, every rejection, all of it happened in front of the whole group. There was no going home after an awkward conversation, no blocking someone, no pretending the moment did not happen. If you embarrassed yourself in front of someone you liked, you still had to sit next to them around the same fire the next morning, and the morning after that, and every morning for the rest of your life. So ancient humans had to be very deliberate about who they pursued, because there was no walking it back. Here is what anthropologists have found by studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, societies that still live roughly the way ancient humans did. In small bands, people spent almost the entire day together, walking together, hunting together, gathering together, sharing food together, which meant you could not fake who you were. Modern dating gives people enormous control over their own presentation. You choose your best photos, you craft your opening message, you decide what to reveal and when. You can seem funnier, calmer, more confident than you actually are, at least for a while. Ancient humans had none of that. Instead, they watched each other constantly in real situations. How does this person handle stress? Are they generous with food when the hunt goes well? Do they panic when something goes wrong? Do they stay calm? Do they pull their weight during long migrations? Do they care for children who are not their own? Reputation was everything. And here is the part that nobody expects. Muscles were not the main attraction. A famous study of the Agda people in the Philippines found something remarkable. Skilled storytellers, people who were funny, engaging, creative around the fire, were significantly more sought after as mates. They had more children than others in their group. The ability to make people laugh, to hold attention, to tell a story well, this was a survival signal. It meant intelligence. It meant social skill. It meant someone who could hold a group together. Think about that for a second. Humor may have shaped human evolution itself, and it makes complete sense. In a world with no money, no possessions, no status symbols, because a hunter-gatherer camp might contain fewer objects than your kitchen, personality became the only currency that mattered. Who are you when things get hard? That was the question ancient attraction was built around. Here is where it gets interesting. For a long time, scientists assumed prehistoric mating was mostly violent, dominant males competing physically, women with no real choice. Movies love this version, the caveman dragging someone off by the hair. The fossil record disagrees almost entirely. In many hunter-gatherer societies, women had far more freedom in choosing partners than we once assumed. Among the Ju-Huansi people of southern Africa, women regularly rejected men they were not interested in. Divorce was common, socially accepted. If a relationship stopped working, people separated, without much drama, without legal proceedings, without dividing up the furniture. Ancient relationships were flexible. Some lasted decades, others did not. And this makes sense when you understand what love actually is. Love is not just poetry and songs. Biologically, love is an attachment mechanism. It exists to keep two exhausted humans from abandoning each other while raising a child who cannot do anything useful for at least 12 years. Human babies are uniquely helpless. A newborn horse can stand within hours. A human baby cannot hold its own head up. Human children take more than a decade to become even partially independent. That is an enormous biological investment. So humans evolved emotional attachment, the pull toward one person, the jealousy, the heartbreak when it ends, to protect that investment, to keep parents close enough, long enough, to actually raise a child to survival. Love is evolution's solution to a very practical problem. But here is what makes humans genuinely different from almost every other animal. Ancient humans did not raise children alone. Grandparents helped, siblings helped, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone contributed. Anthropologists call humans the ape that needs a village. And this may explain something that puzzled scientists for years: why human females experience menopause, which is extraordinarily rare in the animal kingdom. Evolutionary biologists call it the grandmother hypothesis. Grandmothers became so valuable in raising grandchildren that living longer after their own reproductive years actually helped the survival of the species. Your grandmother may exist today partly because prehistoric childcare was always a group project. And that changed romance completely. Choosing a partner in the ancient world was not just a personal decision. Your partner was joining your group. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a stake. If your partner caused conflict, hoarded food, or could not pull their weight, that affected everyone's survival. Ancient love had an audience, always. Now picture a prehistoric night. A small group gathered around a fire under a completely dark sky. No electricity, no phones, no background noise, just voices, laughter, flames, and insects. Anthropologists believe fire genuinely transformed human relationships. Before fire, nights were dangerous. Humans stayed quiet and alert. But fire created safety. Suddenly there were extra hours after dark, and humans filled those hours with conversation, stories, music, and each other. Romance in many ways evolved, beside campfires. And here is what is strange about all of this. Prehistoric humans were probably emotionally almost identical to us. They fell for people who were funny. They noticed who was kind. They felt the pull towards someone and did not quite know why. They lay awake wondering if the other person felt the same way. They got rejected. They felt the specific pain of watching someone they liked choose someone else. Archaeologists have found ancient burials where humans were laid to rest holding each other. Evidence in some graves suggests flowers were carefully placed beside bodies tens of thousands of years ago. Someone stopped. Someone grieved. Someone placed flowers and walked away. That is not survival behavior. That is love. And the instincts that drove ancient courtship are still entirely intact in you. Confidence still signals competence. Humor still signals intelligence. Kindness still signals reliability. The nervousness you feel before telling someone how you feel. That is 60,000 years old at minimum. Your brain is still running software written beside prehistoric fires. The only thing that changed is the interface. What do you think mattered more in ancient attraction, strength, or personality? Drop it in the comments. See you in the next one.